Hey YouTube, it's me, Jim the Giant. So today I'm going to be talking about the importance of strength training in weapons-based martial arts. Skallagrim and scholagladiatoria have done videos about this as well. I have a lot of respect for both of those guys and I've learned a lot from them, but there are a few factors which they've overlooked. And as one of the more knowledgeable guys in HEMA in regards to strength training, I thought I'd weigh in on the topic as well. So the first point I'd like to mention is that strength is very much task dependent. So somebody could be able to massively outlift you in the gym and have more mass on every single muscle in their body, but if you have experience with a sword, you'd still be able to whip out a sword with far more force and produce far more damage than they would, because, like I said, strength is task dependent. You've got factors such as technique, muscle memory, and neural efficiency, which all come into play and have quite a large influence. So yes, muscle mass is important, and the larger person with the more muscle is going to be able to increase their power of a weapon faster than the guy with less muscle. But a bodybuilder doing HEMA for the first time isn't necessarily going to be able to produce more force with a weapon than somebody who's smaller but has a lot more experience. Also, I think that strength has been very much oversimplified in the videos. It's not like playing an RPG game where you add 10 points to your strength and you do 10 extra weapon damage. It's more like increasing the size of an engine in a car. It doesn't simply improve the torque, it's also improved its top speed, its acceleration. It will change its centre of gravity to some degree, which will affect its handling. It will change the fuel consumption for better or for worse, and the list goes on. Likewise with strength training, if you do strength training in conjunction with other forms of training, it's not just going to improve your strength, it's going to have other knock-on indirect effects as well. So firstly would be speed and agility. If you look at the best sprinters in the world and the best gymnasts in the world, they all tend to look better than the best natural bodybuilders. So clearly strength and muscle mass is very, very important to them, and you're not going to be able to accelerate your body at 2 Gs unless you can produce double your body weight in force. So strength is very much important for that, and yes, you can be strong and very slow, but you can't be exceptionally fast without also being pretty damn strong. Also, strength training is going to improve your ability to take a beating, because it increases the amount of mass you have protecting your body. Say on the forearm, if you've got an extra inch of muscle, you're going to be able to take more of a beating there than somebody who's smaller. Weight training also increases your bone density, it also increases the strength of your connective tissue, so it makes you far less prone to injury, and in the long term training that's going to have a large effect. It's also going to mean that you can train harder and for longer without getting yourself too beaten up, and you're going to be better able to recover, ready for your next training session. Weightlifting also increases your flexibility quite well, not as well as stretching, but you can improve your flexibility quite well with weight training alone if you use full range of motion. So there's a bunch of indirect effects which weight training can have. Just remembered I forgot to say about confidence. If you're less afraid of your opponent's weapon because you know it's not going to hurt, you are going to be able to learn a lot faster than if you're shitting yourself the entire time. Now, of course, there is such a thing as overconfidence as well, but that's really topics for another video. Now, in Skallagrim's video, he's saying that, well, a weapon, even if somebody's quite weak, if they hit you with a sword, they're still going to be able to kill you quite effectively, and having any more power than that is kind of overkill. Hopefully that's not straw manning him too much. It's just a simplification of what he was saying. But a lot of those sorts of arguments really rely on the premise that when you're fighting, you're going to be that your technique is going to be perfect. That's not necessarily the case. Somebody might just clip you with a sword, and if you've got more, even if you're unarmoured, you're going to be more likely to survive the attack if you have lots of muscle and denser bones. Even if it only raises your chance of survival 5% to 10%, that's still a very, very good thing, and that's still something you'd want to have if possible. Inversely, if you hit somebody with shitty technique, if you're strong, you're going to inflict more damage, and you're going to be more likely to kill them or render them unable to fight than if you are weaker. When it comes to defense, you can be a bit sloppier. You can be a bit sloppier with it. Of course, you want to be as perfect as you can, but like I said, in a sparring situation, it isn't always the case. So, for example, if you block to an outside guard and the opponent's sword hits here when you thought it was going to hit here, if you're strong, you're more likely to be able to resist that than if you're weak. If you're weak, it's quite likely the sword's going to come through and smack you in the face. Being strong is also going to make it harder for somebody to knock the sword out of your hand. And it also means if you screw up the block, so if I think the blow's coming to my outside and I move my hips accordingly, and then at the last second realise it's actually coming to the inside, and I screw it up and it's purely arms there, I haven't got the hips into the movement, I'm going to still be able to resist that attack better as a strong person than I would as a weak person. So yes, skill is clearly far more important, but strength can really help you when you screw things up. Of course, strength is also going to be very important in a grappling situation. If you're in armour, you're going to be able to move around far better as a strong person than as a weak person. Some suits of armour could weigh up to 50 kilograms. So to give a real-world example, a marathon runner is going to be able to run far better than a marine, but put a 100-pound backpack on them, weight of a suit of armour, and suddenly the marine is going to be able to massively outperform that marathon runner. So I think that's about all I've got to say for the moment. So in summary, strength is task dependent, and strength also has lots of indirect effects which weren't accounted for in the other videos, which really are going to help with your performance. So thanks for watching, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.